Hey guys, Steve here. As I mentioned in my intro, if you haven't already seen it, I am going to be sharing with you basically my entire collection of all the golf pieces that I have. This includes all my loose stuff, all my carded stuff, all my chases, all my scales. As I mentioned in my intro, I'm going to try to, there is really going to be no rhyme or reason of how I'm doing this. I'm going to try to keep some of these videos focused on one specific type of golf. For example, I'll probably do a separate one just on my Porsches. I have, a separate one that I'll probably do just on my trucks. But there's really there's not gonna be any kind of rhyme or reason or how I'm categorizing each of these videos. Because I have so many pieces, as I mentioned, I'm gonna be breaking this up into multiple episodes. I don't know how many it's gonna take. However many it takes to get through my collection, as well as any new stuff that I get in the mail, because I'm always on the hunt, and I'm always looking out for new pieces that I don't have, pieces I haven't seen before. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off. I figured each video is probably gonna showcase probably between 20 and 30 pieces. And I hope you enjoy it. Please let me know if you have any questions or comments. I will say that I am familiar with the majority, probably a good 75% of these pieces, particularly these loose pieces, but there may be some pieces that I don't remember what brand it is, or I may not know exactly what the model is, so bear with me. It is a lot of pieces. I'll try to be as thorough and as correct as I can, but certainly correct me if I'm missing something there, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Enough talk. I'm going to be doing hopefully 2 to 3 videos for this week and go from there. So I was going to start with some RLC stuff, but I actually want to start out with some customs that I did. So I don't really, I haven't really had time to do a lot of customs. I like doing them, but I haven't done many of them. But for those who don't know, I have done some customs myself, and I'm very amateur, nothing really fancy. But I'm going to share with you some of my customs that I've done so far, and then we'll get into really probably some of my top pieces, at least top 1/64th pieces that I've had in my display case. Everything else is pretty much, I like everything else, I just don't have room for it, so I keep certain pieces in my display case, and I rotate it when I can. All right, so let's go ahead and start with this piece. So those who are familiar with Matchbox, they know what this particular casting is. This is the Transport. I believe it's one of the old, I want to say vintage Matchbox racing. It might be the stock car racing, NASCAR racing transports. But officially, this one is called the Kenworth Cabover Racing Transporter. And this is probably one of my first 2, maybe 3 customs that I've ever done myself before. Found this old piece at a yard, I think at the flea market, and decided to strip it. And because I was just now at that point, this is when I was starting to really get into golf racing. I decided to do this custom. And actually, if I'm not mistaken, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think I actually won a amateur custom contest with our local club. This is probably 5-7 years ago with this particular piece. So nothing really fancy. I basically got some sky blue, golf blue paint. Wasn't really familiar and very knowledgeable in tampos at the time. So what I did was actually use, this is actually vinyl stickers that I just cut and aligned, and that's what I used for the orange stripe. But everything else is pretty straightforward. I think actually the wheels on this were actually given to me from a buddy of mine. He pulled them off maybe from another transport, I think, and it may have been actually another Matchbox transport or another Matchbox piece, but he had the right set, and I thought that was the perfect set of wheels for this. So I'm pretty happy with this. This is pretty much it. I didn't really do anything else. Again, this is probably one of my first or second custom pieces that I did, and I happened to have won that contest with this piece. Second piece that I customized was the Hot Wheels Long Gone. And I honestly can't remember which long gun I used to customize this, but essentially I did the same thing. Used the vinyl orange stickers for the lines here. I did order the golf tampos, racing tampos from eBay, I think, but that's pretty much it. Everything else is just painted, silver and of course orange. So there's another piece that I did. And was pretty happy with that one. The next piece is I took this piece. This is I stripped when I had a whole bunch of them. I stripped several of these, which is of course the Datsun 510 Bluebird, and then I made this particular custom. Again, nothing really fancy. This one actually, the orange on this one is actually a combination of both vinyl, which is the stripe on the top, as well as I painted the rest of the accents on this one. So I think I did all my customs, all these golf customs, probably within a month of with each other. So this is when I was really, playing around and testing them. And then this was a main line, as you can tell, because it's a plastic base on this one. So I took an old 510 Bluebird, stripped it and painted it. So pretty happy with this one. Again, nothing really fancy, but there you go. And honestly, I can't remember why. I think there was a reason why I chose number 4 on this, but I honestly don't remember. So, and the last custom that I did was this Porsche. And I know people are going to hate me for this one. This was the Porsche 993. And I know you're going to hate me because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think this was the original one of, I have many of them now, but at the time I took a yellow Boulevard Porsche, because this is metal-based metal body, and stripped it and did this custom on this one. This was done, I did this really before Hot Wheels came out with a decent, nice 911, 993 Porsche. And of course they came out with the RLC one. But I'll, like I said, I'm going to do a separate Porsche golf video for you later on in my video. So, but there you go. That's the custom that I did for that one. I was pretty happy with this one as well. I want to say, I'm trying to remember if these were the original wheels on the yellow Boulevard. Let me just check real quick on my display case. Yeah, actually they were. So yeah. So I used the same wheels. I just colored them, painted them black. So, but there you go. Those are the 4 golf customs that I built. And again, like I said, 5-7 years ago when I first started getting into playing around with wheel swapping and customizing. So hope you like those. Those are those pieces. All right, so let's get into some other pieces. So talking about RLC, as you know, RLC. Many years ago, released basically 5. Yeah, I think it was 5 RLC pieces, golf pieces, which I'll go into next. In no particular order, we have the Golf Ford GT40, and you'll see in a minute it looks very similar to the Super Treasure Hunt, which I'll show you in a minute. But as you can see, when they did these, they used more of a glossy paint on them versus a regular sky blue color on them. Very nice pieces. They go for pretty big bucks. I actually had 2 sets of each, of each, and I sold my Carter ones a while ago, and they went for a pretty big chunk of change, particularly the Camaro, which I'll show you in a minute here. But that's the GT40. Very nice piece. So I'm going to take a picture of that. There we go. So the next piece, and I can't remember if they actually were released in this order, so I'm not going anything specific. So the next piece is, of course, the 67 Camaro. So very cool piece. as well. I think this was probably, I want to say either this piece or the Porsche, which I'll show you in the next, are the more expensive out of the 4 or 5. We'll show you. But this is the your standard '67 Camaro with the opening hood. It's got the detailed chrome and orange engine there, and a nice set of wheels on this one. So they did a nice job on this one, and I'm really happy I was able to get this when they released these. So. All right, so the next one is the Porsche 917. So we've seen this casting a few times now in Hot Wheels history. Again, same color, they're really shiny, glossy paint job. They did a nice job on that one as well. Next one is the VW. I can't remember the official name, but it's the VW Dragster. I think this looks pretty cool too. I think this is one of the cheaper of the 4, but I think this is a cool little piece. Actually, let me grab hold on a second. Let me grab a picture of this one. Okay. So yeah, I think they did a good job on this one. It opens up. I'm trying to think, does it have a stand? It does not have a stand. So, but yeah, they did a nice job on this one. I think it looks really good. Interesting piece to select as a golf piece, I think. But at the same time, it is different. So it's nice to see something different every now and then. A lot of golf pieces that have been released. There's always going to be, of course, Porsche GT40. I'm going to be showing you a lot of GT40s. And even a lot of Camaros that are out there. And the last RLC piece in this particular category is the rocket oil. And this is obviously a really unique piece. It does open up just like a typical rocket oil there. Let me just a picture there. So very cool piece, very unique. It's always a cool casting. We haven't seen this casting for quite a while. It used to be a staple, kind of like a some of the other pieces, like the a dairy delivery or anything like that. So we haven't seen this casting for quite a while. I think we've only seen it through older premium pieces, but very cool piece. I'm glad to have that. I actually used to have like 3 of these, and then I sold them off. I got 2 of them through RLC when it originally came out, and then I bought another one for whatever reason, or I traded it for whatever reason. Oh, sorry, one more piece. Can't forget this one. This one actually is probably the more expensive of all of them, and this is, of course, the VW drag bus. So, that's obviously another staple of RLC. This is one that's always sought after, I think, is the VW drag bus. Very cool piece. There's the roof there. And of course, it does open up. They doesn't really hold though, but very cool piece there. There's the front. Grab a picture of that one. So those are the 6 RLC pieces, particularly in that particular paint job, deco, etc. All right, so I'm going to jump around looking in my case. So let's talk about the next piece. This is, of course, another Ford GT40. This one is the Super Treasure Hunt that was released, I want to say now, when was this released? Maybe 3 or 4 years ago, maybe. I think, I never found this in a while. I think I ended up either trading for it or I bought it off someone. But you'll see right there on the front corner panel there's the TH on there. But it's very similar to, of course, the RLC. It's just a little bit darker, as you can see there. Yeah. Number 8. Okay. Change it up a little bit. So this is actually one of my favorite castings. This is a Greenlight piece. This is the 2009 Chevy Corvette C6. This was released probably five years ago. I believe the hood does open up. There you go. So there's the hood, opening hood. Very nice piece. It's got the carbon fiber kind of look on the wing there. Lots of detail. I've always liked the Greenlight brand. As you can see, and as you may know, Greenlight has released probably even more golf stuff than probably Hot Wheels has. So they released a lot of stuff, and you know, you'll see over the next several videos a lot of Greenlight pieces. So next piece. Okay, so this piece is a pretty cool piece. This is a Mini GT. It's another, I would say it's another premium brand. You just don't see it that much. Usually you have to get them through either hobby stores or die-cast dealers, toy stores, or online, or through you know, other retails. Versus you won't find these really in any retail. Maybe a place like Hobby Lobby. But this is the Acura GT3, and again, I would say the quality of the Mini GT are very similar to the Greenlight. Even the make of them and the feel of them, they almost feel like the Greenlight. So, but this is a nice piece. So a lot of these pieces actually that I'm going to show you, particularly the oddball pieces, you know, I stumbled across them either through searches or through ads, and that's the only way I've really knew about them or heard about them. So, but this is a cool piece. I like this one. And I've got a couple Acuras, actually. Let me see if I can find the other one. Yeah, so here's the... now, I can't remember the brand of this one. It doesn't have it on the bottom, but this is the Honda NSX. So you'll see here. You know, some of these roll pretty well. Some of them don't. You know, it doesn't really matter to me because I'm not going to be rolling them, but... Something like this, it rolls a little bit, but it's so low, as you can see. But they did a nice job on this one, I think. And it is a Honda, because you can see the H on the hood there versus the Acura symbol. So it is the Honda NSX. And, yeah, they did a cool job on that one. It is a little bit more delicate than a lot of your die-cast. It's got the antenna. So some of these you have to be really careful. Like even at the side, you'll see the mirrors on it here are pretty detailed. And they can easily break, so you got to be careful with some of these brands. But there you go. Okay, here's a piece. Let's see, what brand is this one? Colorful Model. That's the name of it. It's a McLaren P1. So here's an example of, it is the golf color, so I do like to categorize this one as a golf piece, even though it technically doesn't have the golf logo or the golf sponsor. But I like to, I have several pieces like this that do have the golf colors. So, and that's why I am including this one in this particular video. So yeah, pretty cool piece. Again, another brand I'd never heard of, Colorful Model. I actually got a couple of these pieces from this company as well. But I mean, overall, from the quality is still pretty good. So it's die-cast and rubber tires, pretty detailed rims there. So nice detailed work. Just, you know, another brand that you don't really see every day. So, let's see if I get a picture of that one. All right. So we talked about the last Corvette. Here's another version of that C6 Corvette that we were just talking about. Just to show you a comparison here. So, so this is the one I just showed you, and this is the different one I showed you. Same, it's a Greenlight. Has, of course, opening hood, just like the other one. It's just a little bit different deco. I kind of like this one a little bit more just because I like the black on this one. But there you go. Oop, as I flip it there. This Greenlight. It's pretty good. And this is numbered 3317. So 2009 Chevy Corvette C6R. All right. So here's a piece that I stumbled across. I can't see the name of the brand, but this is another piece I actually stumbled across while doing some searches. It's a little bit bigger piece. I won't say it's a true 1/64. I would say probably, let's see, 1/64. It's smaller. It's bigger than a 1/64, smaller than a 1/43. So what is it, like a 1/32, something like that? But as this is a Mercedes-Benz 6x6, I got this one because it's unique. And yeah, I don't know what brand this is. It doesn't say on the bottom. I can't remember. But you know, nevertheless, I got it to add to the collection. All right. So this next piece is a Johnny Lightning piece, and I can't remember the name of this one, but I want to say it is maybe it's a Dodge A100. So, and when I show my chases later, I believe I have the chase version of this, the White Lightning version of this. But this is a cool piece as well. But yeah, I think this is a Dodge A100. If I'm wrong, comment below. But lots of detail. I really like. I used to really like the Greenlight brand, but personally, I don't, until I started collecting this stuff, I wasn't really too familiar with Johnny Lightning, but I really like their quality and their pieces. Lots of detail, and they seem to be pretty good quality. They roll fairly well, unlike M2. But yeah, it's a cool piece. Let's see, did I take a picture of that one? Go. All right. The next piece, and here's another Johnny Lightning. Again, another cool piece. This is a Jeep, and I really like the detail on this one. I have a couple of Jeeps I'm going to be sharing with you. But very cool piece, and has opening hood. Let's see if I can open it. Doesn't really show that much. It's not really painted, but it does have opening hood. But I like all the details around it. It's got the winch in the front there. It's got the snorkel here, which is pretty cool. And of course it has the extra tire and the gas cans on the top. So that's another reason why I'm really liking the Johnny Lightning pieces lately. So, and I can't remember if I have the chase version of that. I'll have to see when we get to that. So this next piece is a Greenlight. I think this was an exclusive. I can't remember or not, but this is a Datsun Nissan Skyline 2000 with a driver. Okay, so this one here, I believe, like I said, I think this was a exclusive. I can't remember, but this is a cool piece. And I think, let me see, I think the hood does open up. I don't want to force it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the hood does open up, but I don't want to force it. But pretty cool piece. It is. I don't know. I'm not familiar too much with 2000s, so if you happen to know, does this seem right? Are they normally this skinny or this narrow? Because I thought this was kind of narrow compared to my other pieces, but I wasn't sure if it was because of the scale or if this is truly how they really look. Because when I look at like a Hot Wheels version of it, Hot Wheels is a lot wider than this one. So I don't know how true this one is. So if you happen to know, please comment below. But it's a cool piece. I like this one. All right. Hope he's got this in order. So the next pieces are pretty cool. One of them is a Greenlight. So this is Greenlight. This is the hold on a second here. They print the print. It's the small car, and the print is on it is even smaller. So it's a '67 Austin Cooper S. So this is the Greenlight version. Great detail on this one. They did a nice job on this one. I like it looks very to scale. So very cool piece. Good old classic Mini. And then this other one here I have is the same one, but this is a Schuco. So as I said, I think I mentioned earlier, I think Schuco is pretty close to. It almost looks like the castings between the two almost look dead on. That's how close they are. But this one here, the Schuco one, actually came with. I'm pretty sure he came. Well, no, he must have come with the green. Yeah, okay. The driver came with the Greenlight version, and the Schuco. I believe I have the chase version of the Schuco as well. So here's the Greenlight. Picture of that, and then here's the Schuco. So again, the Schuco, the Greenlight has the Golf deco, the Golf logo, whereas the Schuco does not. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the original packaging did say Golf on there. But I could be wrong. But it's the Golf colors, so I included it in my video. A couple more pieces to wrap it up. So the next piece is one of my favorites as well. So this is Johnny Lightning. And I think this is the Range Rover Defender, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. So this is a case where I do have, Golf primarily. I primarily focus on Golf pieces that are the traditional Golf light blue, but there's obviously there's obviously been releases of dark blue, which is another probably the next common color for Golf, and then there's white as well, which we'll get into later. But this is the dark blue version. Very cool piece. I love this piece. Comes with the boat and the Land Rover. It's got an opening hood there. And does the top come off? No. But you'll see here, I'm just going to separate here. So the truck itself, again, has a lot of detail, just like the other Jeep we showed you. It's got the spare tire and the gas cans. And it's got the little trailer hook. Lots of detail. And then the boat, as you saw a second ago, the boat does come off. It's got its own little trailer. Kind of a hitch and tow style trailer. And then it's got the boat here. So, but yeah, this is a really cool piece. One of my favorites. Get a picture of that. So, and then I also have a separate white one here, as we were just talking about. Same truck, but in white. This one does have a couple little differences. It's got the shovel on the hood here. The other one didn't have a shovel. Assuming the hood does open, just like the other one. Oops, come on, focus. There you go. But the rest of it's very very detailed, just like the other one. And oh yeah, and it's got a shovel on this side as well on the top, whereas the other one, the one with the boat, does not. So, all right, and the last two pieces I want to share with you, also a couple of my favorites. These were car culture, Hot Wheels car culture. This is the McLaren F1 GTR, one of my favorite castings. So this one here, I might have them backwards, but I'm pretty sure I have it right. This one here was the very first one released. I can't remember. I want to say it was the car culture. I can't remember what release it is, but the McLaren F1. Let me get a picture of this one. There you go. So this is the first release. I want to say it wasn't a Boulevard. I can't remember. And then the second one that was released was this one here. I really like both of them. I can't really tell. I'd probably say this is probably my favorite of the two, although they both are really really nice. And this is one of my favorite castings as well. I think I have, as far as I know, I have every casting of this particular McLaren. It's a cool piece. All right, well, I think that's all I have for now for episode 1. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. And we'll go ahead and wrap up this episode, and I'll start recording the second episode. Stay tuned. We'll talk to you in a little bit. Thanks, guys.